he meant. And Brandon Judd immediately endorsed President Trump and has always been a supporter of his, and he understands that when President Trump was in office, we actually did have a secure border. So please welcome Brandon Judd.
Carrie, thank you. For what it's worth, I support you as well.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm not the president of the National Border Patrol Council anymore, so I can't give endorsements for Border Patrol agents, but personally, from what I've seen, absolutely support you as well. I like to have honest conversations. I don't care if people agree with me, if they disagree with me. All I want is facts to be out there, and let the American people then decide based upon all of the information. And as long as they can decide based upon all the information, we're good. But it's when we're not able to get all the information out, that's when it becomes very frustrating to me. It becomes very frustrating to Border Patrol agents. It becomes frustrating to law enforcement nationwide when we just can't get the facts out there. I'm going to give you facts. Please, by all means, fact check me. In the transition period, I met with Biden's transition team. I spoke to them about what was going to happen if he followed through on his promises to abolish President Trump's policies. I also gave them suggestions on what they could do if they chose to abolish those policies. They did abolish those policies. They failed to put in any policies to address the issue. I then, after then Vice President Harris was still Vice President, Vice President Harris was put in charge of the border. And again, I'm going to use their words. She was charged with addressing the root causes of migration. That's what she was charged with. And because DHS cannot control every single facet of illegal immigration, if China won't take their nationals back, if Venezuela won't take their nationals back, you have to have the State Department that's then involved. Then you also have the court system. DHS doesn't control the court system. That's DOJ. DHS does not control the U.S. attorneys. That's DOJ. So you have different departments that operate, that deal with this issue. Because of that, you have to have somebody that can then coordinate between all of those different departments. When I met with the transition team, they ensured me that any proposal that we gave them, it would go directly to the top, Harris and Biden. I then met with Secretary Mayorkas after she was appointed to address the root causes of migration. And I met with them and I gave them point by point what they could do. Not like a light switch, not like Remain in Mexico. I stayed within their parameters. Their parameters was going to take a period of time, but it could have been done. And even staying within their parameters, Harris refused to implement any of the policies, programs, or operations that were given to her that would have addressed this issue. That is extremely frustrating, especially now that she is going to try to redefine herself, now that she is going to try to rewrite history and say that she was never the border czar, when in fact she was charged with, and again, address the root causes of migration. She failed to do that. She had the policies. She could have implemented the policies that fit within her parameters, and she refused to do it. This election comes down to policies. This election comes down to what's best for the American people. Okay? If we look at policies and we compare the policies side by side, it is clear that she's failed. It's also clear that President Trump was able to secure the border more than we had ever seen in 45 years. Not just once, but twice in 45 years. When Congress refused to work with him, because he did try to work with Congress the first 2 years, and when Congress refused to work with him, he then had to implement executive orders and policies that were in his purview from the executive branch. He did that. Harris has failed to do that. So when we compare policies, it is clear that President Trump's policies are much better than Kamala Harris's policies. President Trump's policies keep America safe, keeps our children safe, and hopefully our grandchildren as well. That's the reason that I've supported President Trump, and that's the reason that President Trump is the right choice in this election. Carrie, thank you.
Thank you, Brandon.